Alright, 2 videos, 1 day, let's see where this goes. Alright, you guys know that I've been taking a lot of public domain characters made from the 30s and the 40s and basically just kind of revitalizing them for the more modern day. But did you know, and if it comes to no surprise, that a majority of these comic books were made during the World War II era? Listen, we're not just getting basic superheroes that fight common street thugs in every city. No. No, in actuality, we also have a ton of superheroes that fought on the war fronts during World War II. In today's video, I'm going to be taking a bit of a culmination of 3 different types of superheroes, and I'm going to smack them together to create my very own interpretation, the Star-Spangled Hero that Marvel has, Captain America. I'm essentially taking a few like American-based, public domain superheroes, and I'm actually just kind of like putting them together and trying to create my very own rendition of Captain America if it wasn't obvious. So anyways, I think you guys heard enough of me talking, so how about we get drawing public domain Captain America? Let's go! And now we begin the designing process for our Captain America. So as stated before in the beginning of this video, I'm actually combining a few other patriotic and public domain characters to create the ultimate American superhero. And the characters I'm utilizing are U.S. Jones, the Shield, and the Super American. These 3 characters are going to be combined to create my Captain America that I call the American Shield. And of course, for this character, his powers is that he can actually create shield constructs. So he doesn't have to rely on actual like metal or wood or whatever, but in actuality, he can like supernaturally create his own shields. On top of that, I actually tried originally I tried designing the character with 50 stars in mind, but that was going to be way too much work. So instead, I decided to opt out on simplifying his design, making it feel almost borderline like if it actually was Captain America. And honestly, just a few strokes, here and there, next thing you know, it could just be Captain America. But yet it's not, and I love this design overall. What do you guys think of this rendition of the American Shield? Hey, how you doing? It's me, your weird Uncle Lee. If you really like this video, you might as well hit the like button, and if you have an idea of who I should design next for my next public domain video for either Monday or Friday, you might as well drop it in the comments down below. And heck, while you're still down there, and if you want to see more videos like this, you might as well hit the subscribe button, so then that way you guys get notified every time I upload a brand new video of this kind of caliber on a Monday and or Friday basis. I'm really trying to do both days here, alright? But listen, I think I took up too much of your time at this point, so how about we get enough of me talking to the halfway point, and how about we get to the awesome cover art for the American Shield. George Adams is not a native-born American, so to say. In actuality, he is a German immigrant. Well, he ended up moving into the Americas when he was nothing more than a baby. His parents ended up seeing the potential cause of what Germany would turn into if they kept going on the route that they were going. And well, as history states, we've seen how it went down. Time tends to fly by, and next thing you know, it actually happens to be the 1930s and the 40s. The rise, if not the time, when World War II is at its peak. George couldn't just sit and just idly watch as men have been losing their lives on the battlefield protecting the freedoms that he was gifted as a child. George did everything in his power as a civilian to do everything he can to help the war efforts, to make sure that his land will be free and will keep those freedoms no matter what. But during this moment, it wasn't enough. He had to do more. Eventually, as soon as he was of age, signed up to become part of the US military. The thing is, George did everything he could to be the best soldier he can be, ultimately not being the best. He was actually the worst soldier out on the battlefield. In comparison to the rest of his platoon, he was the worst. But the fact that he had a drive to defend his home country, to defend the freedoms of not just him, but all of the American citizens back at home, was showing and was telling of George's character. And it was this exact drive, this exact motivation, is what caught the eye of a titular scientist that goes by the name of Dr. Savage. Dr. Savage ended up seeing the exact qualities needed and necessary to become the next perfect project that he had in mind, creating the perfect soldier built to protect the homelands and the future of tomorrow. And well, you kind of get the understanding from the rest here. Turns out the experiment goes well. Dr. Savage was able to complete his exact perfect project in creating the American Shield. George Adams was practically in peak perfect human condition, enhanced human senses, enhanced human speed, intensified strength, and not only that, with the strangest of abilities in creating his very own shield-like constructs. With all of these powers that he was officially gifted, he went out to the battlefield, fighting off the Nazis and their allies, making sure that no man was left behind, no man was going to die that day. That was the day that the American shield was properly defending the land of the free and the home of the brave. But alas, he has made a wide variety of enemies, especially one in particular known as the Scarlet Skull. This villain in particular had a specific hatred and actually believed in the intensive ideologies of that of the Nazi Party, and he wanted to make sure that the American shield was broken and was buried away for good. And the day before the entirety of this war was over was the day the American shield fell, as well as the Scarlet Skull. The American shield was able to infiltrate the Scarlet Skull's castle, and it turns out in that castle there was horrendous experiments going down, especially one kind to take out the entirety of the United States off the map. The American shield, not wanting this to happen, did everything in his power to stop the Scarlet Skull, so much so that the Scarlet Skull had to put on his intensified armor, equally be on par with the American shield when they were clashing out for what felt like days. Their battle was so brutal and so intense that it could not be staged on the same region. No, their fight had to keep going elsewhere to other parts of this land, and it got to the point where they were close to an icy river. And well, in order for Scarlet Skull to no longer continue, the American shield had to create the ultimate form of defense in sacrificing himself to making sure the land of the free stays that way. The American shield was able to grab Scarlet Skull by his intensive power armor and driving him deeper into this cold, icy river. From there, not even the shield was able to get out of there. He was too tired, he was too weak, and same thing with the Scarlet Skull. But little did they know, due to the American shield's ability in keeping him protected, he was actually able to survive for a very, very long time. Because of the American shield sacrifice, he was actually able to help the Americans and their allies end the war. World War II was officially over at the cost of a great hero. But hope wasn't lost. As it turns out, a news outlet somewhere in New York actually managed to touch on this story. Turns out that there are these two particular human-like individuals that were deep into some cold ravine, and it's not until now they were completely thawed out. Some people think that this is nothing more than a mere coincidence, and others consider it to be fate. Regardless of the situation, the American shield has now risen. He is now going to defend his home country once again from any invading threat. Okay, man, doing 2 of these videos in one day is really something, I will give you that. I really do hope you enjoyed this, again, on-the-spot type of storytelling that I've done. If there are any, thoughts and opinions you guys have on the story that I have or, the American Shield, let me know in the comments down below. And again, if you like this content, you want to see more of it, and you want to suggest some stuff, like, comment, subscribe, do the typical YouTuber things. But other than that, I will end the video here. So to my fellow weirdos out there, stay awesome, stay weird, and always keep life to the easiest. Just remember that art inspires all, but you can inspire more. Y'all keep it easy now, but until then, never forget to stay ultra. Okay, just finished that video. Good, great, fantastic. Just gonna make the thumbnail for this one, as I'm just gonna have to get that one out for Monday, because, man, doing 2 videos in one day is not easy. Anyways, I should just get to it. Okay. I think they might be a little hyped for this one. Let's see if they'll get hyped for the guy who started it all.